What is up, Teach Better family? It's 5 o'clock on the East Coast here, or not on the East Coast, in the Eastern time zone. It's Wednesday, which means this is your Teach Better Brain Break. I've got two special guests today with me. We got rid of Dave, kicked him out the door. I got Megan and Mike instead, two of our awesome ambassadors. So we're going to have some fun today. We're going to chat about some stuff. We don't know what stuff, but some stuff we're going to figure out. They're both rocking their best Dave impression right now. And something tells me we're probably going to talk about the Buffalo Bills at some point, so that might be on the menu. If you're joining us, please drop in and say hello in the comments and let us know where you're at, where are you dropping in from, what are you taking a break from, and is there anything you want us to talk about, stumble through, or whatever. Just drop in the comments, say hi. You can just leave some green hearts too. Megan's here, so that's perfectly okay to do. But we'll be back in about 1 minute. All right, we are here, and we've got a couple of friends with us here. I did just see, I'm getting a notification that Twitter is not liking us. It looks like it's live on my Twitter, but not on the team's Twitter, so that's interesting. But so I was about to apologize if you're watching on Twitter, but I guess if it's not going to Twitter, you can't be watching on Twitter, so hopefully you're here instead. But anyway, it's great to see everybody. Mike, Megan, thank you so much for jumping up and stepping up because Dave just doesn't know how to do his job. He's just never where we need him to be. He takes every day off. Like it seems like it's his entire life is a vacation. He is just absolutely the worst. So I'm glad that you two are here. No, that's not true. Dave's working with a school district right now and some leaders, and obviously that's always fun too and cool. And I get to hang out with you two now. So
nice.
Good to have you here. I want to take a minute to get going to start here. Because I know who you are, and a lot of our friends watching are going to know who you are because we have a lot of ambassadors drop in and stuff too, and you guys are very well connected to many folks in education. But just in case someone's watching that doesn't know you or either one or the other of you, I'd love to have you just kind of introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what do you do in education, where are you located, how are you connected to the team, and maybe the thing you like least about Dave Schmittou. So Megan, I'm going to have you go first.
Okay, well, my name is Megan Wells. I am an ELA teacher in North Texas. I teach high school ELA. I am a lead ambassador over Celebrations because of the Green Hearts. And what do I like least about Dave? I guess it's because he's so articulate, you know. He's so well spoken. It's hard to hate him. Yeah.
All right. Let's go to Mike now.
I'm Mike Japanik. I am a biology teacher outside of Rochester, New York, which is Bills country. It's I got this upside down.
Bills country. Oh, it's got your name on it too. I didn't notice that earlier.
What do I like least about Dave? I don't like the way he wears his hats, so I'm going to just turn that back around.
I know you're both sporting the hats for Dave, but you don't like that he wears it backwards. You want it.
You know what? I don't like it because I can't pull it off. It I
thought you were pulling it off, dude. I don't know. You're
like,
fine. Put that back on. You're good.
Bunches up in spots.
Today is the day that everyone is going to drop in the comments and let us know that Mike is totally pulling this off, so that he feels more confident about his backward hat wearing abilities. Is that a thing?
I want to hear it. Yeah,
I think it's good. Hi to everyone who's dropping in the comments. Good to see you here. So you're both ambassadors. Did you both come in to the master program at the same time, or were you guys like two different
I think we
classes?
did.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Which was
Last March.
Yeah.
last March you came. Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome. And so Megan, you mentioned that you're lead ambassador of celebrations. Can you share what that means?
It means that
She doesn't know.
you
I'm
know,
not sure she knows.
well, I mean, I put happy birthday messages to people. I was gonna say, I mean, you know, we
So you're the one inside
Right.
our ambassador community who makes sure that the
we make
ambassador
sure that
community
we got
knows.
everybody covered, and we make sure
Gotcha.
that we get them at least a shout out on their birthday or anniversary or pet's
Making
birthday.
the love is being shared everywhere.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So, and you're, you know, the overseer, the overwatch is here, keeping an eye on her
Well, I work
people.
with, and I'm going to mispronounce Nilmani's name.
No, many, yeah.
Yeah, I work with her, so she's the other leader.
She's wonderful.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm interested because, and we get here, and I don't know if this is a brain break thing or this just becomes a what Jeff wants to ask thing. And if you're watching, you know, hopefully it's somewhat interested you. I'm always interested to know how people get connected with us because there's so many different ways in which like we feel like people stumble across each other, brands and stuff like that. So Mike, you've both been in our community, our family for a long time. I don't know when that happened. Do you know, Mike, when and how you initially got connected to the team?
Yeah.
And like what kind of brought you into this nonsense?
I do. Like the wonderful land of Twitter always seems to connect me with people, you know? And I think it was the Mastery chat that, you know, I was really starting to dive deep into Mastery learning, and, you know, that just popped right up when I was doing some searches, and, you know, that just brought me into like, you know, the website, and all of a sudden this, what is this grid method thing? And, you know, before I knew it, I was sucked right in to the whole group here. So
now, do you use the grid method? Do you use that in your?
You know, I don't use it exclusively, but I do use it at least, you know, a couple units a year. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. And we have good people that do that. They use it for specific things or specific pieces of the year and everything. So that was, do you know how long ago it was that you got connected to Master Chat? I mean,
it was a long time ago.
It's been a while. It became Teach Better Chat for a while.
I want to see 2017, 16, 17 in
wow.
that.
You potentially predate Ray.
No. Okay, so I don't predate Ray because
Ray's official start was August 17.
Okay, so it must have been in the 17s. It was the fall of a school year, so that sounds.
So I bet it was fall 17. Then that would make sense. That's okay. So
it was still Progressive Mastery, you know. That
we're still under the grid method name at that point. Yeah, because we didn't change that over until we didn't change over to Teach Better until the following July of 18.
Okay,
which is crazy.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's the right window there.
That does sound about right. Okay, nice. Okay, so Master Chat gets some points there.
Yeah.
Andrea, I'm going to have him talk about that. But first, I'm going to ask the same question to Megan, then we're going to have Mike talk about his grade list stuff. Megan, do you remember how you first stumbled upon and what brought you in?
I'm not sure. I mean, I want to say probably it might have been the podcast, but it probably was Mastery Chat. Because I know there was a moment where I was like, educational podcasts, yes. And Teach Better was one of them. So I was going to say, so I'm not sure if I started listening to the podcast, and that would have been about 2017.
Okay.
So if you guys did it then, maybe. But I know that I started grad school in 18.
Okay. I think we actually launched the podcast in 18.
Okay. I was going to say I started grad school in 18, and one of our projects was to get on and get your learning committee or learning community grown with Twitter. And so I had been on Twitter since, like 2008, 2009. I have an old Twitter account. That's why my name doesn't have anything to do with
I was just going to ask you if you could, can you say your name? It's at what?
Because somebody I babysat for when they were, they're like a full grown adult now. somebody I babysat
That's how they
for
used to say your name.
back in the 90s. That's what they called me. So, all the usual things that I would use on Twitter, I think were taken at that point. I was like, let's try this one. And so that's how I
And
did
it's
it.
just been there ever since.
And well, and I mean,
It's like Lord of the Rings kind of thing there, like other Meagle there for a second.
yeah, it's not something so offensive that you're like, oh yeah, let's get rid of that. It's like, oh yeah, well, it has my name in it, so I guess I'll keep it.
It works. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't. I was. It was funny that you went there because I was thinking in my head, I'm like, I'm going to ask her how to say that to make sure how to say that. All right. So since Andrea asked and she's the boss, Mike, can you tell us about your gradeless practice? Is this something that you've been passionate about?
It's
when did you switch to gradeless? And then I'll let you break it down for us because I remember.
Well, it was shortly after I got.
Yeah, I remember knowing about you making that that transition.
Yeah, I want to say 2018. It was probably about a year after I kind of connected with you guys. I got connected with a bunch of, I discovered Twitter and I kept connecting with different people. And it really came down to, I wasn't really happy with what I was doing in my classroom and what, the grade grab that my students were doing, it's just trying to get points and that's all it's about. It wasn't really about the learning for them. And, I didn't really know how to fix that, and, so that started me looking into standards-based, mastery-based learning, all of those things. And I happened upon a group that was going gradeless. And Aaron Blackwelder was a person I got connected with. And he's really a big proponent of going gradeless. And we had probably a 3,000 message DM going back and forth between us. And, it's like, when he showed me a video of he and his students in one at a time doing these grade conferences, I was like sold, it was like the two of them just sitting down and having a chat about what they learned. And, I'm like, I want that, that's what I want. Take away all this other, stuff and let's get down to the learning. So, it's gone through many different evolutions and it's probably going to go through another evolution again. It's always, trying to make it a little bit better.
Sure.
But I've been working this year on tying in a lot more of standards into it. And these, using for me, I teach science. So science practices, and connecting. Those are really the standards that I'm using. I'm not using the traditional content type standards. So trying to get kids to reach higher levels in those standards. And then at the end of a quarter, we sit down one-on-one and go over what they've done. I've tightened up a lot about how it would look, give them a little bit more guidelines. But when it comes down to it, for, 100-point scale, what's the difference between an 85 and a 90? It's really nothing, but to me, it really means nothing to me. It means everything to them. It means everything to their parents. It means everything to what they're trying to achieve later on. So why would I get in the way of that? And there was a long time where, I teach 25 years and I would say about 15 to 20 of them, I was in the way of that, not on purpose, and a lot of times I felt like I was hiding behind a calculation, a grade book calculation. No, this is what you've earned. But if you play around, and I challenge anyone to do this, take a couple of your students and just try tweaking the grade rules and just see what it would happen to their grades. And, I took one particular student and I said, what would it look like if it was a standards-based grade in my classroom? What would it look like if it was mastery-based? What would it look like if it was certain percentages, this category is homework 10%, labs 25, that kind of thing. What would it be if I did total points? I just did all these different things I could try. And the difference is about 10 points in a 100-point scale, and, there's an awful lot of times I can remember when a kid would ask, well, what can I do to get from an 89 to a 90? And like, well, at the end of the quarter, what can you do? Probably didn't have to do anything. They just me tweaking the rules a little bit. And, once I kind of saw that, it was like, it doesn't matter. It matters because a lot of people want to rank students, but it doesn't matter if you're really talking about learning and what they're trying to achieve.
Yeah.
Like learning wise. And I was more interested in the second.
So you mentioned in there the conferences. So do you do student conferencing? Is that how you get to their like what their grade actually is?
Yep. Okay. But they already have a good idea, because there's certain parameters that they have to meet, and they know the rules ahead of the quarter. The rules change every quarter because I'm trying to, they tighten them up a little bit, ramp them up.
Sure. So we actually have a course in our academy about student conferences and stuff. That's several people on a team do that as well for their grade and stuff like that. So that's interesting. So yeah, it's cool. It's a cool journey that you're going on. I love that you multiple times in there said that you're constantly tweaking, constantly getting better. Like there's no this is how it should be. This is just where I'm at right now, and continue to move on. So
my first time I had to stop. It fell in my face, halfway through the year I had to go, I can't keep this up, because I ended up finding I was spending more time assessing kids than I wanted to be. And, I was up at midnight every night, I was like, I can't keep this up. So, but that's why you look at a change, you tweak, you make it better. So,
yeah. Megan, any big, massive shifts in your practices over the last couple of years? That's a pretty big shift.
I kind of, I don't tell them that the grades don't matter, but the grades don't matter. I was going to say, I kind of agree. I went through some of those book studies we did over the summer. I know that the ambassador group did
Going Gradeless, right?
Going Gradeless. Yeah, and then I did another book study with a couple of people I met through Mastery Chat, and then a couple others with Pointless with Sarah Zerwin, which is language arts based. Okay. And one of the things she said, I'm in a pretty regulated, like I have to give so many grades. I have to give the same summative assessment to everybody. It's pretty, and it's because it's tested. It's because I'm in a tested subject and they want to make sure, and I get that. But I was going to say, so one of the things Sarah Zerwin had talked about, because we met with the author on that one too, was she had made the comment that she got to a point where it's like, if they do it, it's 100. If they don't, it's 0. And I know that seems like really, really crazy, but in the end, it all seems to, in the end, my assignments end up being like 3 points apiece. Like if they do an assignment, it's 3 points. And so whether you get a 90 and whether you get 100 really doesn't matter on that 3 points. I mean, you're going to get 2.7 points if you make an 80, but, so I was just like, well, we'll try it and see if it works. And so we've been kind of trying that out this year. And of course, if they turn it in late and I know people are kind of on late, like, oh, I should take it if it's late, or I should always assess it. But I've gotten to a point where I follow the district rule, which I think is 3 days, and then they can come into tutoring and turn anything in. Mm-hmm. And that kind of cuts down on the cheating. So those are kind of some changes that I've made this year based on some things we've done. But I have found it very hard to go off the grid onto like total gradeless, total,
Yeah. Well, and you bring up a good point, and this is a common thing, is like there's a lot of things that we can talk about and say, well, this is how it should be. This is how I'd like it to be. This is what would actually be focused on learning versus, Mike mentioned like ranking students and all that. But like, yeah, that's true, but that doesn't mean it is, and that doesn't mean we can do it that easily because, as you mentioned, maybe like we have to work within the system we have, and some districts are very lenient, and some are very, very strict, and some communities, parents are very understanding, and some are very not. And some building administrators, it's you got to play within what you can. I think I think the key is that, and what we try to preach all the time is like, it's not to pull from our standard thing, but it's just trying to be a little bit better. And sometimes you can only be this much because you want to go this far, but the confined situation only allows you this much at a time, and that's okay, because your focus is constantly on how can I, within the confines of what I can or cannot do without risking my job, how can I do better for my kids? And I think for me as a parent and somebody also involved in this world, like, we can't ask much more on that from that angle for educators, right? Is as long as you're doing the best you can and what you can and changing and assessing and never settling within what you are able to do, like, that's awesome. That to me means that you have the right mindset and you're doing the best thing you can for kids. So that's cool. That's good. I did get another message. I think we might have someone else joining us soon, so that'll be interesting. You never know. We'll kind of just going with it here. So, all right, this is not.
Are we too boring for you, Jeff?
No. I just happened to get a notification on my phone. Like, oh, someone else might jump in. I don't have to let them in, Megan. I don't want you to feel bad.
I won't feel bad.
I don't want to send the wrong signals here.
It's okay.
It's
as fun as I can feel, right?
Yes, I love it. So, question for both of you: are you coming to Ohio in October?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Without a doubt. I feel like I was the first one to sign up.
You might have been.
Like, I signed up before you let us know there was a different link.
Yes.
And you had to change it for me. Yeah.
Ambassadors had a discount code before I even did that. Yeah, you were there. I'm actually looking right now. I'm clicking right now to see, was Mike the very first? I think I can see that.
Mike was pretty close. I mean, he was like jumping on like the moment.
I'm looking.
I think Danielle was up there too. Like, I think the two of us both had to change up. So.
Yeah. Well, there's actually quite. Yeah, like just about all the ambassadors had to go back in and do it because they didn't wait. But they were so excited and got in there. So
I waited a few minutes and got the code, and I did buy a ticket. Now I've got to find my way to Ohio.
It's just kind of northeast.
Well, yeah, I've actually been through Ohio before, but
yeah,
it's been a minute. So I was gonna say,
this is taking
driving the party bus. If Danielle's driving the party bus from California, she wants to stop by. But no, I mean that's where I am is now. Let's figure out how we're gonna get to Ohio in October.
Okay, Mike? Where's your? I'm looking. I'm in the back end. I'm looking for your order here. I'm seeing a whole bunch before you. If you're not here, where are you at? Oh man, I think from what I'm seeing right now, Lindsay Titus was the first. Lindsay Titus was the first, actually. Okay. Lindsay Titus came in number one. Mike, I think
maybe I'm not going.
Mike's not coming apparently. You know what the problem is, Mike? They're not actually accurate because we had to redo and reorder. Yeah. So,
right
now
I don't think I jumped right back in on the reorder part. So
now I'm concerned because I don't see you in here. Okay. Anyway, I'll have to look at that later, Mike. We'll have to make sure. But I don't see your name in there, so I don't know. So we'll see. But Megan's gonna be there. We're gonna get her to Ohio. I'll get you a map.
Yeah, sure.
Like an old school map. Like I'm gonna get you like an actual map.
I have an atlas.
That's really hard to fold up.
You just get to Mississippi and start going north. You could.
I'll just get you a globe.
Maybe Birmingham.
And I'll draw
That's
with a
65.
Sharpie.
No, I need to go to 75, right? Atlanta?
Yeah, 75 to
75 will get me
75 or 85 will get you up, and then
I was gonna say Atlanta 75, so I can
if you can get to Atlanta, I can get you here.
I can go I-20.
We don't need a Google map, but it'll be all right.
Live a couple miles from 20, so I can go to 20.
All right, who's this yelling Ohio? Here we come. Oh, that's
I'm
Carly.
sure that there's a more direct route that's like this way, but
So Carly's here, so I want to make a note that Carly Spina is on Daily Drop-In tomorrow morning, so that's exciting. So we want to make sure we show up and shower that. So Daily Drop-In tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern time, and of course Fridays with Brad and Ray. The Brad and Ray show. Brad is continually trying to squeeze me out and make me no longer the trusty sidekick. So Darren's going to be there. Darren is going to be there. There may or may not be a whole lot of road to awesome there. Like there's just a chance of that, I will say. So anyway, so all right, let's talk about that. Who were you at 2000? Mike, were you at 2019?
I have never been. No,
you have not been to you weren't at the conference. Okay, no. And I say that because like a lot of people were there, and I don't remember everybody, but I thought you were one that I thought would have been there. I'm disappointed right now. So that's exciting. So we'll get to see you there. Tell me. See, I'm asking questions that I'm like, oh, I don't know that they have enough information to answer this. Now, I was going to say, tell me what you're most excited about the conference. But I'm like, we don't have a ton of details on it. We haven't even announced speakers yet, have we?
But I get to meet you, Jeff.
That is a good answer. That's a great answer.
But that is the best thing about going to these kind of things. You know,
it is, isn't it?
Like, connected with that you never met in person. So
let me ask
you. I mean, you guys will look at it and you go, "Wow, you really are freakishly short." Yeah.
So it's funny. That's really funny because
totally what I expect. Yeah.
It's really funny because Ray and I had a meeting just like an hour and a half ago with Aaron Stack, who's on our team, one of our newest team members who's doing amazing. And Ray's like 5'3", so like I told her that like it's weird for me when I see her because she's shorter than me by quite a bit, and I'm not a tall guy. I'm only like 5'9". I'm pretty average height, so I never feel tall. I usually feel short. And I'm like, so I love when I'm around you, Ray, because then I feel tall. So my joke was like, you don't need me to get something off like the medium shelf, you know? Like, well, Aaron's like short too. So we were talking about that. And then we got into talking about like, oh, like you can't tell that on like video. So like, that's one of those few things, like when you meet somebody, you're like, oh, like, I didn't know you were really tall or really short. So I'm actually like now like really excited for the conference of like, in my head, I'm going to be guessing like, is Mike taller than me or is he shorter than me, or are we going to be eye level? Like
we will be eye to eye if you're
like how short's Megan going to be? Am I going to miss her?
Than everybody.
So what are you, Megan?
I'm 5 foot even, so
okay.
I'm shorter than everybody. So it's all.
So like that, but it's such a cool thing. Like to go back to actual seriousness is we build these relationships that feel they're strong, like they're legit friendships, legit camaraderie, like you know, legit caring about people. And then we haven't even met, right? And it could be years before, or never in some cases. But like, there's a whole bunch of us that are going to get to meet each other for the first time. Where Mike, we were just talking. You've been in this community, this family for what 4 years now, and along for the ride, and the brand change and the change and all this, and daily drop-ins and 12 hours and everything else. And we're gonna get to high five. We're gonna get the fist bump. Like. That is by far the coolest part. Yeah. Like for me, the funnest thing in a world from the first one and that's what I'm most looking forward to for this is when we first get on stage, like to like welcome everyone, just seeing all the faces. And then it's the networking events where we're just like chilling out, hanging out. Like it's such a fun time. So this is going to be super excited. Excited about we were talking about Erin. She heard us. So, and Nikki is here as well. Hi, Nikki. Always good to see you. I know Nikki's coming to Ohio. So anyway, let me talk to you about this because I got two ambassadors on here, so I want to go here, and I hope everyone watching doesn't mind that we're talking a little ambassador heavy here, but you guys have been with the ambassador program for almost a year now, give or take, right? Megan, you're in a lead role where you're doing some of those additional things for the program. What's a two-part question? One, what made you say I'm going to put time in this application and dedicate some time where I'm going to put in this ambassador thing and become an ambassador? And two, I guess 3 parts. 2, has it been worth it? 3, why? I'm assuming a yes. But so Megan, I'm going to you for this one. So what made you go through and say, hey, you know, I think I want to do this. I want to put my stamp on this team and have this, you know, this thing in my email signature and put this in my Twitter and whatever else.
You guys are a great team. You're well known throughout the educational community. Why would you not want to be a part of Teach Better? So, you know, and the ambassador program, just getting to know the people involved. It's a real tight knit community. These people are my virtual friends. So, and we had been spending so much time with like Mastery Chat and whatnot so many times that it was like, like if I had a question, that's who I went to. So it was like, why not? That's who I talk to. So as far as the time commitment on the lead role's a little bit of a commitment. It's not like, an extra set of lesson plans every week or something like that. But it's been a good experience. So yeah.
The correct answer was actually because of the green hearts, but
because of the green hearts.
But we'll accept that
always,
one as well.
Always the heart.
I'm glad I'm going second. I have the answer to me.
I was gonna say,
it'll get my grade up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with Megan.
Gotta get those grades up, Mike. That's what we're working for here.
I'm going to
same
start
question.
I'll start by saying that I wanted to be in the first group, and that one closed up in like 30 seconds or something like that. That
didn't think that one through very well. No, so we left them open much longer the second time. Yeah, closed up very quick the first time.
So I missed the first one. I really wanted to be in the first one, but so actually the application was kind of fun. I enjoyed doing the video. I knew you guys well enough that I could just have fun with it, and so that was kind of relaxing in a way. But I already know so much. I feel like I already know so much about you guys, and I connect already with a lot of what you guys think and how you are, that I just, I love being around people who want to do better, want to improve themselves, who are not just, this isn't just a 9-to-5 job, punch in and punch out kind of a thing, that every day is a new challenge. And although this year has been, and last year and the year before has been filled with more challenges than maybe I'm ready for and have wanted, but it's still, that's what it's all about. You gotta be around those passionate people, or else that fire's just gonna burn out. That's what I feel like, there's enough people out there to snuff out your fire if you really let them. So
that's a great line. There are enough people out there to snuff out your fire if you let them. But that's so true. And in a year like this, that we didn't see coming either, right? We thought last year was so rough, and then this year came and we're like, whoa. And it's just a whole it's similar, some continued problems, but also a whole bunch of extra problems and unseen things. And I think even more so right now than ever, it's so important to have those connections of people who get it, who understand, who are there for you, whether that means we're here to listen, we're here to help, we're here to just let you vent. It's crucial. So Carly says, well said, Mike. So I agree. Well said. All right, Mike. We're going to take 3 minutes. Then I'm going to let you talk about the Buffalo Bills.
Oh.
How are you feeling right now about your Bills?
Well, last week was amazing. It couldn't have gotten much better.
Yeah, it was pretty great. I was a Bills fan. I jumped on.
Like 20 years. The only thing would have been better is if Brady had been quarterback.
If it would have been Brady, yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah. And so, and part of me would like to go. Yeah, Andrea says, here we go. Yeah. She knows.
I love it.
Part of me wants the Bills and the Bucks to get there and to just exercise
so
that.
You can have that.
20 years of being pounded on. There were times that I've always been passionate about the Bills. My dad, I remember when it wasn't always on TV, that he would have the radio on and he'd be pacing in the kitchen while listening to the games, and then we started going to games together. He and my dad and I, and we had season tickets for a good almost 30 years, and he passed away in March. But about, it's a couple of months before that, the season before that, we just couldn't keep going. And, so it's kind of sad, obviously, but, he's the one that passed that on to me. That's
carries that special place.
yeah.
It's more than just rooting for a game at that point.
Right. Last year, like my sister and I, we were convinced that they were going to win it all because we knew my dad had Alzheimer's and we knew he was going downhill quick. And we thought, you know what, this is going to be it. He's going to get a chance to see his Bills, whether he'll remember any of it or not. He'll have a chance to see his Bills win the Super Bowl. And when it didn't happen, I remember just sitting there like, what, like I was sure, I was so sure that was going to happen. So, well, now, we're convinced that he's up there pulling some strings, and
he's talking to people. He's not
talking to a higher power and making it happen, so hopefully he's right on that one.
Listen, I'm rooting for the Bills, but you got a big wall to go through with Mahomes to get to Brady here. So, but I want to see it. That'd be fun. I was a big Jim Kelly fan, so I'm assuming you were going to games back in his day, right? Yeah. I was always. I'm trying to think of who the other guys. It was when I was young when he was playing. There was a couple of players on the team that I just always, whatever reason, enjoyed. Probably had to do with them being good in a video game or something. That's why I like them. But
you reminded me. You reminded me of something. My dad had a Jim Kelly signed jersey, and I have it hanging up.
Oh, nice.
And the only problem is he was in a skilled nursing home, and it got washed by their extremely high temperature.
Oh, so no.
that autograph is gone. So, but I know, I'm sure if I send a message out to the Bills and say this is what happened, they send me another one right out. I just haven't done it. One of those things. So, but
well, hopefully Sunday's a good day. Are they the?
They're the late game?
They're the late game. Was it 6:30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's torturous. I got to wait all day.
I know you got to wait all day.
I'll be pacing all day in the kitchen like my dad.
You got to stay up later, right? Because you got to finish it, and they'll probably go in overtime.
Yeah.
Now, are you tired on Monday?
What's that? I know. Yeah.
You'll be all tired on Monday.
Yeah. And so how close are you to Buffalo? Are you close to the city? Are you right there?
It's about. Well, on a game day, it's about an hour and a half, but normally about an hour. So
so you're pretty close. Gotcha. Yeah. And I like Buffalo. Buffalo's a cool city. We go through it when we go up to Canada. We go across the Peace Bridge there, but I'll spend a couple days just wreaking havoc in the city when I was younger. So anyway, okay. So there we went more than 3 minutes. I think I gave you like 4.5 to 5 minutes on there. So I apologize, Andrea.
Mike told that heartfelt story. I mean,
he did. It was worth it.
Like it was worth it.
It was worth it. It was worth it. It was good. All right. Okay, this is the point where I am now out of things and questions to ask. So the two of you have to lead us somewhere.
All right, I got something.
Well, Mike's ready. Nice,
I'm ready.
Dude.
Okay.
You should tell me beforehand because I wouldn't have to admit that I didn't have anything. We could have just.
I didn't think you were going to jump in so quick. I was waiting for at least another 10 minutes.
All right, you're up. What's up?
Okay, so I got this. I got a gift for myself that, I hide it under my desk at work. I have one of these walking treadmills.
Oh, really?
I have a walking treadmill. It is, I tell you what, is the greatest thing.
It goes under your desk?
Underneath my desk. So, well, I should say I'm a half-time 712 science coordinator. So I spend half of the day kind of locked in my office. And my office, it's a nice office, except it doesn't have a window. It does not have a window. And I can't, I need to move. Like I'm even sitting here, I'm like bouncing back and forth. I just can't sit still. So I walked 5 miles today.
Awesome.
Wow. So is it it's just like a little guy that slides underneath?
It's it's a shorter treadmill. You wouldn't want to run on it because you probably would miss once in a while. And
you stand at your desk, right?
Yes, it's a stand. Yeah.
So you just stand on and walk while you're working is what you're doing.
Right. Okay. I have this like standing desk, thing that goes on top of my desk, one of those that stands high up. So because I tried that first and that wasn't enough just standing for me. But I don't know. I was going to ask you guys, is there things that you have that not everyone else would know about or, it's kind of your special thing? Oh.
So similar thing. So I have a off uplift desk. So my desk, I can control it. As you can see, you're going up and down right now because I can control it up and down. And so I do stand a lot. Today I happen to be sitting, but a lot of times I'll stand. And when not all the time, but a lot of times I'll stand on that board because it's just enough where you're going like this, and it's not constant, right? You just kind of in your balance, but it makes you do more than just sit. Because like just sitting all day is they say sitting is a new smoking, essentially,
right?
Like right,
yeah.
so what's really funny is like literally 6 feet away from me, I have a full on really nice treadmill, but I can't do my work while I'm on it,
Yeah.
So I do that, but that's interesting. The treadmill at the desk, that is cool. No, I use that. I do that often. And then I try to stand a lot when I'm working, just so that it's not 10 hours of sitting all day long and stuff like that. But
yeah. Now I hope our building and grounds guy isn't listening, because he would probably want to have that removed. So Mark, if you're out there, just
no one tell Mark.
I didn't say any of that.
Nobody tell him. And if your name's Mark, just don't listen. I don't care. It's probably against his safety regulators or something, potentially, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
I
it's one of those you're afraid to ask.
Yeah, just
right?
don't ask for permission later.
Ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yeah. So, how about you, Megan? Do you have
I have a footstool under this desk, but
okay.
I was gonna say it's because I sit crisscross everywhere I sit.
So you have it, okay.
So I sit like Indian style everywhere. So so I have a footstool under this desk, but mainly at work I have like a movable platform thing. It's not as cool as yours that has like the remote or electronic. It's manual. But I was gonna say I have it so I can stand at this desk, but mostly, I mostly put my desk on a podium and walk around the podium because it's on wheels.
Is it like on wheels, that podium?
Yeah, it's on wheels.
Oh, I love those.
Wheel around, that would be cool.
Yeah.
I don't have wheels.
So it's like, hold on. Okay.
I really like this uplift because it's a big desk, right? So it's big, but also I have 4 settings.
Desk, right?
It's a full desk, yeah. And so I have it, but it has a keypad over, and I have 4 settings. So like when I want to go up, I just hit 2, and it goes up to the height that I like. If I want to hit, but I also have sort of like 2 when I'm standing, 3 if I'm standing on my board, because it's just slightly higher. So I want it slightly different.
Yeah.
So I also have this guy. From time to time I go on a stool, which I got to teach better green. But that's just because I realize when I'm on a stool, I sit different. I'm more aware of my posture. Yeah. So I'll do that. But I'll also often, and you might catch me now if you're paying attention, when a lot of times when I do daily drop-in on Mondays with Ray, I'm standing. I put my desk over a stand. And I'll slide that right underneath because I'll put one knee on it. So you made me think of that, Megan, with like you're always sitting crisscross. Where I'm always like, I like to like, I'll stand on one leg and put one leg up. It's just.
Did you ever do the yoga ball? Like.
No, I actually was wondering. I was waiting. I was gonna make a joke. Like, do you have like a yoga ball that you sit on or anything? I've never done that, but like this thing is a similar purpose. That like the board is similar to that, where like it's forcing you movement. Yeah, boy, for a while there was a craze. Like everyone did the balls, right? And then I think people were just falling and stuff. But
yeah. I did have a couple in my room, and I did have one kid.
Did you?
He took a bad spill.
Wipe out.
We had the chairs that they were like regular chairs with the balls.
Oh yeah.
Place that I worked, and it was okay, but we did have students that would pop the ball.
Okay.
So that was kind of unfortunate, and then we've had the wobble stools, but
the wobble stools, I've seen a lot of those.
Fall off of them. So
I fall off of.
I have a bunch of stools in my room that I've gotten at like garage sales and stuff. But I don't have any wobble stools.
Well, they wobble, but they're not supposed to.
Yeah.
They weren't made that way, but they do wobble. It works.
Yeah, they have that effect.
Awesome.
So does their desk, so it's all good.
So, all right, I have questions now that comes back to like let's go back to the classrooms and stuff. So it's January. We're getting close to the end of January now, going into spring here. What's the spring look like for you all in your classrooms? Like, is it settling down yet for you? Is it evening out? Are you excited about the spring? Or are you just like, I got to get through this year. Like, where's your mindset? And this is a safe space. You can say the real answer here. Like, I'm okay with that.
Megan, you want to
go? So my class has completely changed that semester.
Okay. Like whole new kids?
Whole new group of kids. There was a situation, there's been obviously employment situations.
Sure, yeah.
And so we had a position that was open all fall semester, and they just really were unable to fill it. So when somebody else said they were quitting, they flipped my classes with her classes, kind of so she would at least stay throughout the semester.
Okay.
Until they could get somebody into, and some of that too has to do with district rules on hiring. In order to not have them be a long-term sub, I guess they have to go through the new teacher academy, and they only offer the new teacher academy in August. And so there was some drama about hiring new people. They need to get some new rules in place. It's above my pay grade. But so I got a completely new set of students. So I'm still learning people's names.
She's like starting a fresh.
Yeah,
is that
a whole new school year? Which is
that like, is that a good thing in the sense of like, does that make it like exciting in a sense? Because like you're learning to know a whole group.
I was going back and forth with it. Like when they first told me, I was like, "Oh, this is kind of exciting."
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm tired of these people right now, and I want a new class. You know, I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Is like, it's not that I don't like my students. I love my students. I just, I was tired. It was December.
Sure.
And so I was excited, and I was like going in, and I'm like, I'm going to plan. And then I'd get kind of like started planning and look at the stuff. And I was like, man, I'm really mad at this whole situation. And why did they have to put me through this situation? But I mean, it has been kind of, like I said, like the beginning of a regular school year, like, we get to know each other again. We get to establish new routines. I don't know anything about you. So whatever you've done in the last 3-4 months that made this person mad or made that person mad, or, it doesn't matter. It's a clean slate for them. It's a clean slate for me. So it's actually been kind of until this week. It's actually been good. So. And I'm out sick this week, if you don't know, so that's why.
Yeah, you're down for the rest of this week. Are you back next week?
Apparently, I can go back on Friday.
Okay, well,
I have to be heavily masked and all that.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm like, okay, I guess I'm going back on Friday. I sound bad. It's like head cold, sound bad, but other than a couple coughs here and there.
Hasn't been that bad.
And honestly, this is how I am in January anyway. Like I'm always coughing and sneezing, and I'm allergic to outside. I'm allergic to all dander and dust. So it doesn't inside, outside, it doesn't matter. I'm always got a runny nose. So, like whatever.
Well, hopefully a good return for you. Mike, before you answer the question of what the rest of the semester looks like and stuff, what do you got to drink in there? I see you. Is that a beer? Is that a?
It is.
What is that?
This is a Rochester, one of my favorites here.
Ooh, that's a
Three Heads Brewery.
Okay. Is that a Rochester? Is that a Rochester?
It is a Rochester. Yeah, and it's called The Kind. It's an IPA.
Nice.
I was thinking about this the other day. Like IPAs. Remember. Well, maybe you don't, because I'm older than both of you guys. So, but there was a long while that they had this whole commercial. It was like bitter beer face, like
oh yeah.
Remember those?
Face.
Okay,
yeah. Who was that? Did those though? Who was that?
It was like Budweiser.
Was it Budweiser?
Major.
It was one of the big brands. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And I remember thinking, now it's like they advertise how much, IBUs they have. And it's how much bitter it is, so I just thought it was interesting.
Right.
But
I'm looking at bitter.
Not that that's what I wanted to talk about today.
Okay, I was a little off with it 10 years ago. That was 1995, and it was Keystone Light.
Keystone, yes, yeah. Okay,
yeah, Keystone Light. It looks like one saying 95, another one saying 97, so somewhere there, late 90s. whatever.
Yeah.
Go Keystones, I guess. I don't know. So what's the rest of the year look
More
like for you?
recent than that, though.
What's that? It does, doesn't it? It doesn't
Yeah,
seem, but,
it doesn't seem like it was that long ago.
No.
Of course, the "What's up" doesn't seem that long
What's
ago
up?
either.
Yeah.
No,
Oh man. Yeah, when was that from?
that
That's
was from the
probably right
Super
in that
Bowl.
time period. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Alright.
like late '90s Super Bowl. It
I'm
was
looking.
like I want to say '96 or '97.
Yeah.
What did you say? 96, 97?
Yeah.
Ooh, 99.
Oh
Well,
wow.
they actually
Later.
it says the original aired between 99 and 2002, so they used
Okay.
it for a while. Interesting. All right, my West West.
They revamped it. I know.
Yeah, they revamped it. Well, and then they like the Frogs did it, and
Yeah.
like, it was
Oh, there's
yeah.
so many.
They did a lot
There
of
were so
different
many.
versions of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike, what's the rest of the year look like for you?
Well, I'm not even halfway yet. So, because most people, yeah. Megan, remember you guys start in August. Don't start till after Labor Day, and
So you go further in.
my last day is the end of June. So, all of you guys are like, I remember last year, all you guys are celebrating. Oh,
vacation
end of
at that
May,
point.
and I'm like, I got a month. Son of a-
A lot of our Canadian friends go to the end of June too, so you're not
Yeah.
completely alone, Mike.
Yeah. But I don't know. Right now I'm excited. Our family, we're going to go, hopefully cross our fingers because everything with COVID,
Mhm.
traveling. But we're going to go to Orlando over the February break.
Okay.
And that was my big Christmas present to the family, was to
But hey,
have
you
that
get a
all
February
organized. Ready to
break.
go. What's that?
You get a February break.
We do. Yeah.
I was gonna say, unless there's an ice storm, we're not off in February.
Yeah. No, we get that President's Week off.
Then we won't
It's
have
nice.
power. It'll be bad.
So you're heading down to Orlando for just a few days, a week?
Yeah,
Or what do you get?
about 5 days.
About 5 days. Okay.
Yeah. So we'll stay. We're actually going to go to Universal for a couple of days. We're going to stay
Nice.
at Universal and go to Disney a couple of days. So, so I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to that. And after that, I mean, it always feels like for me, I don't know about you guys, but March is like that month that never ends, that it just keeps going and going. But once you get to spring break, it's like everything's like flies by.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like, until I get reminded that some people are done in May. Then
And
it
you're
feels
not,
like
yeah.
forever.
Of course,
But,
yeah.
you know.
Everything
I would say
flies
just the
until
opposite.
June 1,
Fall
and then you're like,
semester.
that's
I would
funny.
say just the opposite. The fall semester flies by, and then the spring semester is like the unbelievably longest time. And after spring break, you're just like, can we just be done?
You start seeing the
I
light.
can't understand how August for us is by far the hottest month, and how
Yeah.
I can imagine going into schools like during that heat. It's, if you're not Texas, I mean, I don't know how you deal with that. So, but
It's just 113 degrees. I mean, not a big deal. We actually had a state law for about a decade that said that we couldn't start until the third week of August
Because of the heat?
because of air conditioning. But they kind of put in a loophole 2 years ago that said that if you are a district of innovation, then you can go earlier.
It's innovative to go earlier.
Yeah, so apparently everybody got district of innovation. I don't know how we're innovating anything doing it, but I mean,
That's so weird.
like everybody. And then it's just like it was before they put in that law in place. Now everybody's going like a week or two earlier now. We've got people starting in July, and and it's like
Interesting. So to become a district of innovation,
yeah.
I'm assuming this is some sort of application process. You have to prove
There
some stuff.
was, yeah.
Do you possibly have to pay money? Because then that would make sense.
I don't think there was.
Or they were able to
there
get
was the
money
paying
by
of
how
the
many they
money.
got
I
or
think there was
something.
the receiving of the money.
Yeah.
I think that was a big part of it too. Is like we
Interesting.
receive of the money. So
Interesting.
all the big ones did it, all the little ones did it. They were all like, "Hey, we're innovative." So okay.
Okay.
That's innovative to start early. That's what
Very,
it really
very innovative.
Apparently.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. So, well, all right then. With that, with our great talk about innovation here. And we're gonna wrap up here because we are coming up almost to the hour here. I do want to shout out a couple things. So shout out, I know we joked about him earlier on, but shout out to Dave Schmitto because today we released a brand new course over at teachbetteracademy.com, which was done by Dave. It's a free course. And it's definitely geared towards administrators or folks who have a role that's connected to professional development and planning of that. But I actually think there's a ton of value for classroom teachers as well as you consider what kind of professional development you want to do for yourself or you want to advocate for. So there's a lot of value in there. Dave does an awesome job with those courses. So that is over there. That's for free. Of course, if you have the membership, you already got it. It's already in there. But that's released. So shout out to him. We already mentioned Carly tomorrow morning on Daily Drop-In with Ray. And then tomorrow night gotta check my notes. I, of course, didn't write it in my notes. Tomorrow night, I want to make sure I get the time right. Katie and Ray will be live tomorrow night at 9:00 Eastern time, talking about Dave's course. So they're going to dive in a little more about what's in that course and celebrate Dave a little bit. So that'll be a good time. Anytime Ray and Katie are goofing around together, that's always a fun time. Also, lastly, is our 12-hour live is up right now. So we've got that date out. More details are coming soon. That's February 26th. So 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time, 12 hours of free professional development. We got a lot of new faces coming to that one. Trying to introduce some new faces and connect more people. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And we already talked about the conference. So you can still get $100 off on the conference up until March 1st. And on March 1st is when proposals will open. So be thinking about that. They're going to be open for a while. Don't worry, Mike. We're not going to make it like 30 seconds. Those are going to be open for a while. So that's exciting. So a lot of stuff going on right now. As you always know, reach out. Let us know if there's anything we can do for you. These two amazing people on screen with me right now are also great people you need to be connected. Their Twitter handles are there right underneath their names. You may want to take a screenshot to remember how to spell Mike's. But if you get that, get connected to them and keep reaching out. Keep being awesome. If, like I said, if there's anything we can do, let us know. Go register for the conference. We'll see you at the 12-hour. Tomorrow morning, Daily Drop-In. I will see you next week. I don't know whether I'll have Dave or someone better. We'll find out. Maybe I'll just have Megan and Mike back too, and Dave will be gone forever. We'll see. Anyway, we'll get to that. We'll see you next week. Chime in. Mike, Megan, thank you so much for hanging out with me and putting up with me and being just amazing stand-ins for Dave. I don't know if everybody noticed. You both are rocking the backwards caps in support of Dave. So I know he appreciates that. When he sees it, he'll appreciate that. So y'all have an awesome Wednesday, and I appreciate you. We'll see you.